الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
حي على الصلاة
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله
حي على الصلاة
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله
حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا وانصرنا اللهم على من عادانا اللهم ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. وأصلي وأسلم على مبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه عنا معهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Respected brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today's khutbah will be with the title of In Light of Al-Hijrah, the migration of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How can we relate this to our life today? I think you are all aware that we have started, by the will of Allah, a new Hijri calendar year. Today is the 14th of Muharram. So 14 days ago, we started a new Hijri year. Now we have started the 1444, 1444 today. Now, in light of Al-Hijrah, how can we relate this to our life? Some people, they celebrate the Hijrah. Some people, let's go back to make a quick analogy. Some people, regardless of the dispute between the ulama from fiqh point of view, the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Milad al-Nabi, is it permissible, not permissible? Out of this discussion. Now, some people, they might be celebrating the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If they are celebrating his birth in terms of just reciting something or emotionally talking about this, and then they close the file as if there is no relation between them and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are just wasting their time. So what's the point of remembering? What is the point of celebrating or mentioning? There should be a point. In my understanding, my humble understanding, as someone who's proud of Islam, as someone who has spent most of his life enjoying studying Islam, I say all of these occasions must be highlighted every year with an intention to be related. So we have started a new Hijrah year. What could and what should Hijrah mean for me as a Muslim? Let's go in a very quick journey now. Hijrah in Arabic means migration in English. And by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the case that the majority, actually not the majority, all of us, we are immigrants. All of us, in Canada in specific. None of us but an immigrant. So the concept of migration, being an immigrant, it's not far from us, from one angle. Now, yes, I know we did not come to this country for the same reason. Some of us, they were pushed by a political motivation. Some of us by security motivation. They are not secure in this country. Some of us, and they might be the majority, 50% or more, in my personal quick estimation, for financial situation, to have a better style of life, which is not haram. It's part of what any of us has the right to seek. However, we are immigrants. So it's good to connect the concept of immigration with a new way, not just to mention it and that's it. Now, let me remind myself and my respected brothers with the following concept. Now, the Hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, literally, the basic understanding for it, that he left a place to another place. He left Mecca, which is a place, a location, a city, to another place, which is Al-Medina. Now, many people, they might stop just by the fact that he left a place to another place. Actually, it's much more deeper than that. It's deeper, and I will prove to you why it's so rich and serious before I say exactly what is the exact meaning of Hijrah. When Muslims were discussions after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to start an Islamic calendar year, because at that time the most dominant thing was Roman Christian one, which is, we call it now Miladi, which we live by it, most of us. So they were arguing, Sahaba themselves, shall we start our beginning of Islam, the last version of Islam? Pause now, please. You know, as Muslims, we believe that a group of people, they believe in the Old Testament. Another group, they believe New Testament. We believe Last Testament. Finished. Old, new, last. Bigger brother, young, medium brother, last one, who will take the covenant and finish the whole message. So they were arguing as holders of the final message of Allah. Shall we start our own timing by the birth of the Prophet? Yes, no, debate. At that time, I'm telling you what happened at that time. Shall we start it with the beginning of the revelation? And if they did it, it's a very big valid reason. Beginning of revelation. Beginning of revelation, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. If they started by the year 40 of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam birth, which was the beginning of the revelation, it's a very powerful, valid reason. Shall we start it by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it Al-Furqan, i.e. Ma'arakat Badr? By the way, we can highlight 5, 7, 10, if I were them, I'm trying just to imagine every single thing happened at that time. Okay? One of them was, to the best of my memory, the birth of the Prophet. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Finally, they agreed upon on Hijrah. Not the beginning of the Wahy. Not the beginning of the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not Badr, Al-Hijrah. Now let's just try to travel through the time. What made them, Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali radiyallahu anhum jami'an, those great Sahaba, to decide that the most important thing for us as Muslim to start our dating, our time, our calendar, our own identity is the Hijrah? What could be the meaning? They realized something. They realized the difference between before and after. They realized between, it's not just a physical transfer. No. Much bigger than that. We need to know the following. Now, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not leaving a place. No. Highlight now. Open a file, please. Fix in your mind. Now, download. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ left culture, mentality, thoughts, faith, principles, foundations, all of them disconnected with. He went there not just physically to enjoy a new location as a tourist. No. He started enjoying the full constitutional system of a new culture, new identity, new principles, new foundations all together. So in light of this, and we can bring tons of evidences of that. In light of this, how can we relate Al-Hijrah to us? Now, let me fix what I'm claiming now. I told you he left what? Mentality, a way of thinking, identity, culture, full culture. He left a culture believes in نموت ونحيا وما يهلكنا إلا الدهر. We just are born. This is part of the culture in Mecca. We are just born coincidentally. We just pass and we die coincidentally. And just we are finished and perished by the passing of the time. That's it. Okay? He moved to a new culture to be established. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. I seek refuge by the Lord of the humankind, the Lord of the universe. He left this to this. He left a culture consist on the face of on the base of ولا تكرهوا فتياتكم على البغاء إن أردنا تحصنا. Don't ever force your slave girls to do prostitution, because it was part of the economic reality of the Meccans' culture. It was not just a philosophy, it was not just feelings. There's economy, finance. In our language, billions, trillions. Slave girls, boots, they bought them, they kidnap them, they take them in whatever illegal way, and they force them to be prostitutes. Money. So he left this mentality, this principle, to another one where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم والمحصنات من المؤمنات والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن محصنين غير مسافحين ولا متخذي أخدان. He left a culture, part of it used to force slave girls or prostitution. Part of it used to have what you used to call أصحاب الرايات الحمراء. Those of the red flags. The terminology of red flags, they are the most famous private prostitutes in their homes. She used to put a red flag anyone passing by comes, this is another style. That style, it was like organized prostitution by the slave owners. Ashab al-Rayat, it's a private sector. Self-employed, no tax. Red flag, anyone passing by, come and enjoy. It was part of the daily living basis. So he was asked to move to wal-muhsanat, to the concept of ihsan, the chastity. Don't ever, it's haram to get married except from the pure, chaste, clean woman, from Muslims and from the people of the book, exclusively. You are not allowed to marry except a Muslimah, or for the males, or a Jew or a Christian, with a condition. وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابِ. Not even any Jew or a Christian. No, she must be from the people of chastity. If a Muslimah or a Jew or a Christian, not from the area of chastity, purity, it's haram to marry. So this is a culture, principles, values to a complete immigration. It's not just move. He left a culture, principles consist on وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ. Girls, they used to be buried alive for backward reasons. Out of hunger, they were, because how can I, وَإِذَا, a culture consists on the base of وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْأُنْثَى ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ مُسْوَدًّا وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. When someone is given the glad tidings, that your wife gave birth to the girl, his face will be dark, full of blood. He feels so shy, as if he has done a shameful thing because he was given a female, a girl. This is the culture, this is the value. Where he moved to, a culture says, this female is your main reason to go to the Jannah. So migration, it was not just moving from a place to place. It was disconnecting, detaching, and sometimes intellectually fighting. This kind of poisoning thing. How come? On what base? She was not allowed to choose her husband. She has full right to choose her husband. She was not allowed to have her own property. Now she has the full right in what we call الذمة المالية, full right to have her own money and to spend the money in a halal way and to do trade in something. No one has the right to interfere or to force her unless if there is something against the Sharia itself. Full responsibility like the man. He moved from this to this. So when he moved there to establish Islam in practice, it was not a philosophy. Still, I'm just now highlighting what does the Hijrah mean. Still, next part of my khutbah, how can this be related to my life now? He left the life of al-khamr, alcohol, intoxicants. Life was based on that. To a degree, Allah by His wisdom, He made it haram gradually in steps. It was not set haram. By the way, one of the ulama, he was commenting on that. Allah knows the concept of addiction. When you are addicted to something, you should do it what? Gradually. This kind of reaction, amazingly. So we have on steps, it became haram. One of the steps, don't pray. The first step, يسألونك ويسألونك عن الخمس. They are asking about you. Let them be aware that there's some kind of benefit. Yes, the one who sells the khamr is benefiting. The one who buys, the one who trades, the one who, trade with it. But the harm of the khamr is 1,000 times than what could be classified as khair or benefits. So it was first step. Some of the Sahaba, they realized that this is the first step of making it haram. Then, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْتُمْ سُكَارَى. Don't pray unless if you are fully concentrating, having your power of intellect with you. If you are intoxicated, If you are drunk, don't pray. So to take care of the prayer at that time, the only time they were able to drink just after Isha. Because just few hours. So indirectly, 80% of the time they were not drinking. The last one, from a life based. And when I say based, it's not just the personal choice. Industry, money. Like now, when we speak about insurance companies, banking system, prostitution, media, the drugs, the industry of pharmacy, the big companies who manufacture weapons, all of them, they speak in trillions. They don't speak in billions even. It's an industry of trillions. So when a system comes to tell you that this file will be closed, it's not something easy. Now, many countries, their national income from alcohol is by hundreds and tens of billions. Not mentioning the political aspects, controlling the people. Because if the majority, they are drunk, you can control them easily, by the way. But this is another point. I'm talking about just the economical, financial side now, okay? Money, power, from, in our understanding, haram way. So he left this to this. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated clearly, فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ. Some people or some ignorant people, they say Allah did not say haram, Allah say فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ. Just for your information, اجتنبوا is 10 times more powerful than haram. Because اجتنبوا means it's haram to drink, it's haram to hold, haram to sell, haram to buy, haram to sit with someone who's drinking, haram to help anyone who is holding it, haram to buy your product for someone who will make khamr from it. If you are a farmer and you have the grape, if you sell your grape for a khamr factory, you are sharing the haram. So 13 categories, they are under the la'nah, the curse of Allah from alcohol by ijtanibuh. So he left a culture contains in our words an economic system on prostitution and slavery and alcohol, which in our words now, you can say the national income, to another culture based on chastity, purity, full protection for your mind. You do not come by the end of the day urinating on yourself, hitting your wife, spitting on the face of your kids, breaking half of the house. Next day you wake up, who did all of this? Daddy, it's you. Oh my God, crying for 10 hours. Next day, a new phase of drinking again. This is completely stopped. By the way, I challenge, if there is a country on earth not suffering from what I have highlighted, you just put it in my face. Only Islam. By the way, no system on earth, ultimately, no toleration against alcohol is given in Islam. No system. And all the people are suffering. If I'm not mistaken, I think the fourth reason, one from the first 5 reasons of death casualties in the United States, it's because of drinking with alcohol. And on worldwide, one of the highest, drinking with alcohol. It's very simple. 1 + 1 = 2. Alcohol kills people. Stop it. No. Because this is the meaning of أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنْ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. We are worshipping our desires. We want to enjoy alcohol. We want to enjoy zina. So therefore, my God is my desire. And this is the exact meaning of أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنْ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. And the same thing is applicable on the idea of riba and the idea of, the system, the legal system. What you are allowed, to give a bribe or to take a bribe, or to seize the seizure of the money of the others, dhulm, injustice, having the right to take the money of the others. All cultures speaking, generally speaking, people of power, people of prestige, they do whatever they want. No one dares to put them, to hold them accountable. It's not just Jahiliyyah of the Arabs. Wherever you go, just name it, on earth, Islam came with والله لو أن فاطمة بنت محمد سرقت لقطع محمد يدها. By Allah, if Fatima, you know Fatima is the most beloved to the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, committed the crime of theft, by Allah, Muhammad will chop her hand. Justice. So he left this to this. He left this to this. It was not just a physical movement. No. Now, in light of this, let me just remind myself first, my respected brothers now. As I said, not most, but all of us, we are immigrants. We migrated for different reasons. Political, security, finance, different, whatever. However, we are immigrants. Be careful. You are not just one of the aspects of your existence, you are an immigrant. However, you have another aspect. One of the most important aspects of your existence that you are a Muslim. You are a believer. A Muslim or believer supposedly is someone who has signed a contract with Allah, contains, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Contains, I bear witness that Muhammad is Rasulullah. Contains, I bear witness that the book of Quran is the book of Allah, which contains the commandments of Allah. It contains inside it the contract that I believe that this is the final constitution for humanity. And it contains that I believe that it contains the khair for humanity. And it contains that I believe that it's my duty to do my best to apply Islam within myself and to spread Islam for everyone else. So I'm not just an immigrant. No, I'm an immigrant with an identity. An immigrant with previous contracts. Sorry. So I'm an immigrant with identity, with a contract. I'm holding a message. I've already submitted myself to the Lord of the universes. I've already declared, Ya Allah, I believe that you deserve and you are the only being who deserves to be worshipped. And I believe that worship means full obedience for Him. So all of these meanings should be clear. So let me remind myself and my respected brothers and sisters. If my priority now in the West, in Canada or in America or wherever, is just to gain more money, regardless of what happens with my kids, because I don't sit with them, so I'm throwing the ni'mah that Allah has given to me as if, like the one who's throwing the ni'mah, the blessings, into the rubbish bin. Because the fact that you are an immigrant, because of whatever reason, you are seeking, I am seeking a better condition for my life. But I'm someone with a message. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is my role model. He migrated to do what? Not to enjoy a better life in terms of having a new house, which is not haram. No problem to have a new house. But if my aim is to have 13 houses so that I can gain $100,000 a month, regardless of do I have a quality time with my kids? Do my kids know me aslan? Or they see me because I have to collect $1 million a week or whatever? There is a big problem in my understanding for Islam. I might be applying what we call in Arabic kufrun ni'mah, the full denial, rejection of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in light of al-hijrah, let's see, as immigrants, are we holding the concept of I have an identity, I need to leave something and to establish something and to be a role model and to do my best in influencing everyone else so that the message of Allah is known clearly or not? If yes, Alhamdulillah, we are on the right track. If not, please see or look at yourself, myself, to what degree you and I far from the right track. Please fix before time is finished. Because once death comes, خلاص. As I'm not sure if it's a hadith, but the meaning, قال من مات قامت قيامته. If the death comes to any one of us, actually, practically, technically, your qiyamah has started. Because you started now the alam al-barzakh, which means you are part of na'im or adhab al-qabr, which is the first step of al-akhirah. There is no reverse. It's irreversible. خلاص, that's it. So من مات قامت قيامته. So I will not be benefiting from North America or Canada or Europe unless if I was making benefit of my existence to spread the khair. Otherwise, I'm a loser. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. I know I have limitations of time. I could be highlighting tens of examples. Let me just finish with one, I believe, the most important example. Muslims in general, Arabs and non-Arabs, most of them, they always claim, and I'm one of them, and we always highlight that the most important thing in our lives are our kids. Why do you work on such? بدي أأمن مستقبل الأولاد. I want to secure the future of my kids. Why do you build such and such? For my kids, for my kids, for my daughters, for my sons. Most of us, everything in our life revolves around our kids. So be careful. We are facing a very difficult time. Generally speaking, in worldwide level, in very short time, there will be illegal systems to kidnap our kids. You need to be prepared. How your kids should not be kidnapped. I mean mentally, emotionally, intellectually. You might be just the biological father. You feed, you give food, you give drink and money. Apart from that, no relation. So be careful. Be careful how to spend more time with your kids. Be careful how to unite with others, how to protect your kids, how to give more quality time, how to stop sending your kids to any place that could be harming their emotions, hearts, and minds. It's one of the most important things, or otherwise, simply we are just wasting our time. Just we are eating, fooding, wal-'iyadhu billah. I don't mention it's very tough description, but the Quran mentioned the people who does this with a very, very difficult description. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to let any one of us be from those. Allah, before I finish, but let just me remind you, brothers, there is a registered charity organization and it's a non-profit, Hands for Charity. They are trying to support Gaza. I think there's no need from me to tell you what happens in Gaza now. So please do your best in whatever. And you know, it could be inshallah sadaqah jariyah for any one of us. The point is not just how much. The point just do what you can. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, might, multitude. This, and you might find inshallah in the day of judgment inshallah in something you can't expect. Allahumma arhamna fawqa al-ardi wa tahta al-ardi wa yawma al-ardi alayka ya kareem. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من وليت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما أنعمت به ولك الشكر على ما أوليت نستغفرك ربنا ونتوب إليك اللهم ارحمنا وارحم والدينا ووالد والدينا وأصحاب الحقوق والواجبات علينا. اللهم ارحم المستضعفين مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم ارحم شهداءهم وداوي جرحاهم وكن معهم وكن نصيرا يا الله لهم ولا تكن عليهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم خفف عن إخوتنا في غزة وفي فلسطين وفي سوريا وفي العراق وفي مصر وفي أفغانستان وفي الباكستان وفي البوسنة والهرسك والشيشان، في كل بلد فيه مسلمون يضطهدون وفيه مستضعفون مضطهدون يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا نصيرا لهم وكن معهم جميعا ولا تكن عليهم، واغفر لنا تقصيرنا في نصرتهم آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.